Govinda Venum Anamatta Mayura Nrityam Prikshadhir San Avaratyam Samasta Sattvam
Vrindavanam Sukhi Bhuvan. Okay, let me do it again.
No problem.
Vrindavanam Sakhi Bhuvo Vitanoti Kirtan.
Vrindavanam Sakhi Bhuvo Vitanoti Kirtim Yadevaki Sripadam Puja Abda Lakshmi Govinda Venum Anamatta Mayura Nrityam Prikshadrisam Avaratyam Samasta Sattvam Vrindavanam Sakhi Bhuvo Vitanoti Kirtin Yadevaki Sutapadam Pujalabda Lakshmi Govinda Venum Anamata Mayura Nrityam Prikshadri San Avayartam Samasta Sattvam Vrindavana Sakhi Bhuvo Vitanoti Kirtin Yadevaki Sutta Padambuja Labda Lakshmi Govinda Venum Anamata Mayura Nrityam Prikshadrisam Avaratyam Samasta Sattvam Vrindavanam Sakhi Bhuvo Vitanoti Kirtin Yadevaki Sutapadam Pujalabda Lakshmi Govinda Venum Anamata Mayura Nrityam Prikshadi Sanya Varatanya Samasta Sattvam Vrindavanam Sakhi Bhuvo Vitanoti Kirtin Yadevaki Sutapadam Pujalabda Lakshmi Govinda Venum Anamata Mayura Nrityam Prikshadri Sanya Avratanya Samasta Sattvam Vrindavanam Vrindavana Sakhi, O friend, Bhuvaha of the earth, Vitanuti spreads, Kirtim the glories, Yat because, Devaki Sutta of the son of Devaki, Pada Ambuja from the lotus feet, Labda received, Lakshmi the treasure, Govinda Venum the flute of Govinda, Anu upon hearing, Mata maddened, Mayura of the peacocks, Nrityam in which there is dancing, Pratyaksha seeing, Adrisanu upon the peaks of the hills, Avarata stunned, Anya other, Samasta all, Sattvam creatures. Let's do this together. O friend, Vrindavan is spreading the glory of the earth, having obtained the treasure of the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Devaki. The peacocks dance madly when they hear Govinda's flute, and when other creatures see them from the hilltops, they all become stunned. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's devotees, followers, what have you. And we are going to read it, and you're going to, we'll participate together, the usual. Srila Sridhar Swami explains that because activities such as those described in this verse do not occur in any other world, the earth is unique. It's a French word, by the way. In fact, the earth's glories are being spread. What was that?
Butter.
Peanut butter? Yeah, peanut butter has to be. Okay, in fact, the earth's glories are being spread by wonderful Vrindavan because it is the place of Krishna's pastimes. The same Devaki also refers to Mother Yashoda as stated in the Brihad Vishnu Purana. Dve namni nanda paryaya Yashoda Devakiti cha ata sakyam abhuttasya devakya shauri jayaya. The wife of Nanda has two names, Yashoda and also Devaki. There, it was natural that she, the wife of Nanda, develop friendship with Devaki, the wife of Shauri Vasudeva. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains Krishna Leela as
Follows.
in Vrindavan, the peacocks request Govinda, please make me dance. Thus Krishna plays his
Flute.
and they surround him in a circle and
Dance.
in
Time.
with the rhythm of his melody. And while standing in the midst of their
Dancing.
he also sings and
Dances.
okay, my mistake. Then those peacocks who are fully satisfied with his musical performance out of
Love. Affection. Joy.
Care.
thank you. Boy, you better get some kitchery in you. Okay, gratitude, offer for his pleasure their own divine feathers. In the usual manner of musical performers, Krishna gladly accepts these presentations and places a feather upon the, rhymes with turban, atop his head. Gentle animals such as deer.
Deers.
No, deer.
Deer.
It's plural. Deer is plural. It's an English lesson. And
Cuckoos. Owl.
doves. Very good, doves. Great. I'm glad I look like one. Greatly relish the transcendental entertainment presented by
Krishna.
and to get a good view, they flock to the peaks of hills. Then, as they watch the breathtaking program, they become stunned in
Ecstasy.
ecstasy. Very good. Samosa. Srila Sanatan Goswami comments that because in Vrindavan, Krishna goes barefoot and can thus but give me a D. Direct way.
Directly.
This guy's gonna get fat. directly mark the earth with the symbols of his lotus feet. That transcendental land is even more glorious than
Heavens. Golok.
Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha. Very good. Samosa. You finished yours yet? Okay. Where Vishnu wears
Krishna. Gopis. Sandals. Anklets.
Radhikas.
Flowers.
slippers. Who said slippers? Okay. Samosa. Is there anything left? They're big. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu's Haribol. Okay, so there's a lot more going on in the spiritual realm. You see, people are just actually very much in a service mood. They're very joyously executing bhakti. Susakam karatum avyam. Karatum refers to what you're doing. The susakam refers to happy, happy engagement, And susakam karatum avyam. This is described in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, right? How does it start? Rajavidya, Rajagayam, Pavitram Uttamam, Pratyasha Bhagamang Dharmyam, Susukam Karatum Aivahyam. It's one of the most so beautifully capsulized verses of what is the culture. Okay? We should be looking at that right now. Rajavidya, Rajaguyam. Okay? What is our culture? It's based on wisdom, right? Raja is a king of all knowledge. King of education. Okay, so vidya means getting out of ignorance and being educated. Rajaguyam, confidential knowledge. Pavitram, it's pure. Our thrust is purity, right? And idam uttamam, transcendental. Tama, everybody knows what tamas is, right? Tamas, you can put S there. Tamas, that means low, But to take it the other way, Uttama. Okay, we have somebody in our community by that name, Uttamananda, right? He's always happy, transcendental. Transcendental. Direct experience, as we already got it, and understood. Dharma, principles of religion. Being dharmic means being principled, basically. Susukam, very happy, right? And then karatum, how you execute happiness. It's happily executed, and it's ongoing. It's an ongoing festival. Every day we have a party. I don't know if you noticed. Every day we have fun, right? And people can't fathom that you can practice a religion that's always full of fun and joy, and people are dancing like, Alex, like a madman, very happily. Yeah, so it's a joyful thing. And then look at some of the impressions. Are not peacocks very beautiful? Peacocks are also, they go after the snakes, so they're our friends. Let's see. And yesterday we discussed about the bamboo flute, which is run by, am I supposed to do that now in the middle of a class? Okay, I'll manage to juggle it if you like. Okay, and seeing many creatures at the hilltops, and everything becomes quite stunned. Particularly the peacocks, they get into a position where they just get still. Is that okay? We're just having a little station break right now. Okay. By the way, do you want another station break? By the way, are you suffering from birth, death, old age, and disease? I thought so. Therefore, prescribe to this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And now we'll get back to our show. Okay. So a lot of beautiful things are said here, and there's devotees have done a great job at always quoting their references. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Sridhar Swami, and so on. And Prabhupada also, when he would go through the purports, he'd have a stack of books about this big, of, let's say, commentaries by the acharyas. So he would make references, and he would, spell out their name even, where he got that from. That's really important in our culture. You must make references. You can't just shoot off your mouth and just concoct something. You have to have some reference point. Everyone has reference points. If anybody says in the pop culture, somebody's original in their style of music, they borrowed it from somewhere else, Michael Jackson wasn't the first one to do moonwalk. There were other people who did it before him, some decades before. The film footage is there, but maybe expanded upon it, but no one does anything original. In fact, originality comes from, yes, Krishna and his various expansions. Okay, so peacocks are kind of highlighted here, I would say, and their feathers. It's for those who do deity worship and dress the deities, like we've got some, let's say, novices at the, Nityananda has been going on the altar, and you've been dressing the deities. Which deities have you been dressing? Just. Did you hear him? Just?
I said, why not just Aarti, no?
Just Aarti. Oh, but you'll get to the next stage, And when you put that peacock feather on God, then you know you've made it big. All right. Krishna always has the peacock feather. It's a given. It's a given. This is how he's decorated. And I remember we had Swarup Damodar Maharaj, who was known as Dr. Singh. He was from Manipur. He's a Prabhupada disciple. And he would walk on Venice Beach with Prabhupada. And since he had a scientific background, they talked about science. Prabhupada would oftentimes bring up the theme of life comes from life, And Swarup Damodar Maharaj, or Dr. Singh, he actually wrote a small book, The Scientific Basis of Krishna Consciousness. I'm sure you can probably find it there. And at one particular point, he mentioned about how a peacock feather has been around for at least 5,000 years, And so it's not that this is just dreamed up. Peacocks have been around, and they've been cooing, or whatever the term is, how they make noise. They actually make a kind of noise that almost sounds like help. Help. I know some real nice people there, like between here and Ottawa. They're called the Pholoxians. And they built a house which has curves to it, like out of a storybook. They've also taken animals that have been maimed and, let's say, been harmed, and they've rescued animals there. So they used to have peacocks, and when peacocks make a sound, it's very distinctive, right? So there was an older lady in the neighborhood. She called the police on the Pholoxians. They said, there's child abuse going on over there. Says, well, how do you know? Because, I hear the children screaming for help. And it was found out that there weren't any children being abused. It was just the peacocks going, help, help. So they make beautiful sounds. In New Vrindavan, they have a peacock like a white, totally white, what do you call it, albino peacock. 100% white, And it's the males that put out all the feathers, and that's their way of attracting, and that's the way they end up having babies. But it's beautiful, and they're very generous, peacocks, because as is indicated here too, they leave some of their feathers so that Krishna can be decorated. Yeah, that's right. Anywhere where the people keep peacocks. By the way, on our farm, we had peacocks and we had pheasants. Do you know what pheasants are? Look it up. Look at pheasants, and we can shoot some of them up here. Pheasants. 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 And yeah, they're beautiful animals. My dad was crazy about them. He just thought that they were the most beautiful thing. You know. Yeah, this is the idea of a pheasant. They're very beautiful. Look at the different color combinations that we have here. Some people actually go and shoot them. In southern Ontario, there's a place where you can go and have pheasant hunting, unfortunately. But isn't that nice? God's creation. And when we talk about a peacock feather, you look at it, what does it resemble? Eyes, yeah. In the first canto of the Bhagavatam, it describes, if your eyes are not set up to see the form of the Lord, then those eyes are rendered useless, like the peacock feather. The peacock feather, they're not eyes. They may look like them, but they're not eyes. Sometimes you see birch trees, and everyone knows the white birch. Does everybody know? Oh, please show a white birch. We're going to go and show some photos. White birch trees. They're absolutely beautiful. Oh, here they are. And some, if you get a little close up, sometimes they look like eyes, like Indra, who has lots of eyes. And you could write, they're like paper, they peel off real easy. And our indigenous people, the Ojibwe tribe, they would make their canoes out of birch bark, lightweight. You could carry it on your head real easy, And then if you're portaging, and if you leave a lake or a river and you want to go to the next one, you take it out of the water and hold it onto your head. Sometimes they make very long ones. It'll be 2 or 3 men who would carry it up like this, So, it would be the same idea. They look like eyes, but they don't really see. But Prabhupada does mention that trees do see sometimes. Do you know in which case this happens? Trees, how they can look. Sometimes a tree makes its way through towards a building or a fence or a wall, and then it sort of, moves out of the way, Prabhupada claims that they are seeing, and therefore they are avoiding. Isn't that neat? Very well. Okay, so peacocks is the thing, and we know that the cowherd boys had a real good time with the peacocks. They would imitate them, and just like I remember, stretch it like this. Probably real good exercise. Peacocks, and they're liberated creatures. Any animals that are there in Vrindavan, they're considered to be in a high position, because they're mixing with God. Ramanriti is the place where Krishna and Balaram had lots of, childhood fun, games, boys fighting with each other, play fighting, and all that kind of stuff. It's sandy. Ramanriti is like a nice sandy area. And there was also a Krishna Balaram tree. I don't know if it's there anymore. I heard it's destroyed. There was like a tree that has a white, Krishna Balaram tree, it's called. It had like a white limb going out this and a black one going out like that. So maybe somebody grafted it, we don't know. But it was the famous Krishna Balaram tree at Ramanriti. The first year I went to India in 78, Ramanriti was a very expensive thing. And, guess what? It's really shrunk down to something very small. And I think the big offenders to this are devotees. I hate to say it, but they want to have a place in the Holy Dham. And since the government doesn't have strictures on it, they're more interested in making some profit. So therefore, Ramanriti is reduced down to a very small area. And so peacocks were very common in that area, less so now because of development, or as we analyze the word, devil up. When you devil up, they call it developers. They're developing, but they're just bringing the devil and raising him. So what else can be said about peacocks? I mean, city folks are amazed by these creatures. And where I came from, Govardhan Eco Village, they have some peacocks there. There was I wrote about it on my blog there, And there was one, a fox or something, or no, wild dog, a stray dog that came and killed one of the peacocks. They usually come in the night. When peacocks are sleeping, a lot of birds, they oftentimes lose their lives. So a hen, peacock hen, lost her life, and she had 2 little chicks. So then an actual chicken raised those 2 little peacock, little chicks, and they grew to be big. Now they're the size of mama, and bigger than mama now. So it's kind of a heart-wrenching story, but it's really nice how animals can behave towards. When you see there's certain birds that when you see them in the morning, it's very auspicious to see. Predators maybe less so, but there's a whole science to this. But you see beautiful birds, especially the ones that give off a beautiful sound. Like, and the next month we're going to hear robins, and believe me, they have got such a beautiful song that they sing. Robins, the red robin goes bob bob bobbing along. I don't know if you know that song, but yeah, they're beautiful. They just have a beautiful sound. And when I go to Argentina every year, which is in November for their Rath Yatra, all the robins are singing such beautiful, because it's their spring over there. And when I first saw them on my first trip there, which is about 18 years ago, and I said, so this is where you guys come in the winter, right? Like our winter, you don't see them very much. But they usually stay for the whole summer, but it's during the spring that they have the beautiful sounds. Somebody wants, they can pull it up. They're really active getting worms, and they're very good at singing. And one beautiful thing about them, they have beautiful eggs, like a pale blue. They have a pale blue egg. Can we see robin's eggs? Oh yeah, robin's eggs. Okay, so we're talking about birds, but one of the main features of Vrindavan, isn't that something? Like sort of almost like an aqua color. Yeah, and then they come out when we were kids. This is what we experienced, And they're just waiting for the worm, for Mama, maybe Papa too. They come with the big worms. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So I think for some of us, we're expected to have, look at nature and see things that remind us of Krishna, right? So a robin is one of them, birds, and predatorial ones. We talked about Garuda yesterday, right? And he goes for snakes. He's not a vegetarian. So, but we were okay with that. And, even the predatorial birds, what do you call it? Those that go after the ravens and the crows, and they all have their own unique sounds. They are carnivore, carnivore type, they go after what was just killed on the road, the roadkill. The ravens go there. Anyways, it's birds in particular are something that should remind us of Krishna, right? And there's so many pastimes to do with Krishna and Vishnu expansion of birds. And so please do not go for a disconnect in this area. Try to see that Krishna is there. These birds who are singing, it's actually meant for Krishna, right? Because everything that we do is meant for Krishna. It's meant to be an offering to the Lord, So we have a propensity to move, we sing and dance, and dancing is meant for Krishna. But most people dance for sex, I hate to say. That's what most people don't know folk dance, like the square dance they used to do in the barns in the old times. They're kind of clean, but what goes on now is just really kind of vulgar, right? But, I think open your eyes and open your ears to the things that will remind you of Krishna, and in the next 2 or 3 months, you're going to be, hearing cardinals and all kinds of beautiful birds that they're deep red or Baltimore Orioles. They're a little bit less. You get goldfinch. They're black and red. Of course, even the standard blue jays are kind of pretty nice. Their sound is kind of irritating, but they look kind of beautiful, all blue and white. So what does that remind you of? Or Krishna Balaram. Yeah, so you see a blue jay, nobody thinks, oh, there's Krishna Balaram, right? And so that's the idea. Pick up on that, and even the winter, the snow should remind us of what? Purity, right? Or perhaps Balaram, because he's supposed to be. But just try to pick these things out, and then you raise your consciousness, your awareness of Krishna. Chapter 10, Opulence of the Absolute, from Bhagavad Gita, is, there's a blue jay. Yeah, they look pretty good, and that's the official baseball team for it. They're called the Blue Jays, right? And the red cardinals, can you give us that one? The males are really vibrant, especially. Red cardinal. Okay, we're not deviating here. I'm just telling you, Bruce. We're taking, offering to you steps whereby, isn't that something? Aren't they beautiful? Yeah. Angry? Hungry or angry? Angry. Okay. Maybe they're a little aggressive. Out west in Alberta, they have magpies. They're beautiful color, but they're really very territorial. A lot of birds are very territorial. They really are. And they're always looking. Prabhupada talks about birds. You know why? Because their eyes are on the side of their heads, and they just have to always keep their, because they could be attacked by a bigger bird, or they're watching to see if any other creatures going after their eggs, whether it's a raccoon or anything like that, going after their eggs. They're very protective. Yeah. Baltimore Oriole, you can show us that one. Yeah. And some people are birders. When people get older, they start to value birds. They like to see exotic birds, and in the midst of their migration, it's beautiful, isn't it? That's a goldfinch. And so what else do we have around here? Pheasants we already went through. I'm talking about natural birds of this area, and they contribute so much. In the spiritual realm, birds play a big role in the decoration of the place and the sound of the place. If the world didn't have birds, I don't know what it would be. What kind of would be? Even your regular seagull, they're kind of fun to watch. They do the real entertainment. Can we get those seagulls, like Great Lake seagulls? And I'll tell you one of my favorites. Okay, we'll get to it. Okay. Maybe it's a bird class we're going through. These guys are like monkeys with wings. They go, and they kind of float in the air. And then if you start feeding them, they get into like vicious fights, isn't it? And then let's go to the loon. Somebody can give us the sound of the loon. I think we did this once before. The loon goes to the Atlantic in the winter, and it goes for hunting, fishing, and their colors change. They have this very stark red eyes, and then they also have black with white dots. Yeah, see, that's not that clear. That's hazy. Can you give us a better one? And they put their young on their backs. So they come to the Great Lake. This is horrible. This is a nice beach. Their younger babies are on the back. But they come here to mate, and then they come, because the waters are favorable. It's, the lakes. They're not treacherous, So, come on.
He said that. No, younger baby on the back.
Yeah, but it looks like a fuzzy baby.
Clear as a fuzzy.
And they're very smart animals, and they have the most incredible haunting sound you can imagine. Yeah. Yeah, bravo. They have different sounds, but they're very intelligent creatures, very intelligent. They're not feisty like ducks. See, there you go. And we have it on the coin, we call it the loonie, right? So like, think about it, that these are reflections of the spiritual world. And of course, we've got the famous Canadian Canada goose. It made it in the Bhagavatam, and the story of Kapila Dave, Cardamom Muni. There's the Canada goose made it in one of the paintings. Can you give us the Canada goose? And they're kind of neat. There's another intelligent. We can learn a lot from these. Look at it. Haribo! And you know, how can you not think of Krishna when you look at these kind of creatures? How can you not, honestly? Yeah. And when they make their V formation, like I always think in terms, it's like a Vishnu formation. They cut the wind by creating an arrowhead kind of formation. And so there's the head, and then he'll swing his arms. They have a pretty incredible wingspan. And then you can give us the formation, Canada geese formation in the sky. And when he gets tired, he moves over and another one takes over. Another guy comes in. And then after he's doing it for a while, because the wind is strong, you know, you have to cut through it and fight it a little bit. The head one, the pinnacle of the, let's say the arrowhead, is it's the geese that takes it the most. And then he'll switch. So, this is, they'll sometimes fly over the building here, you know, when it comes to winter and spring. You know, when the winter's over, they come in great numbers. And so you might catch some of them. A lot of them are in around the lakes. They love water, and it's illegal to kill them. I think our indigenous people are allowed to. But they're great sounds somebody can do. It's a very in fact, that's what I missed about the Govardhan Eco Village. There were no squirrels, no raccoons, no skunks, no geese. You know, like all the things that we're used to seeing around here. But let's hear them. And we'll finish up because we're going a little bit overboard with our time. But I just wanted to share with you how to become Krishna conscious by seeing Krishna through nature, right? So we have several segments of the Bhagavad Gita that help us in this area. See God through the shark, see God through anything that's powerful, prominent. This is the opulence of the absolute. Can we hear the sound of it? That's just one. When you hear them all together, then it's something else. And look, when you kind of like grow up in this kind of atmosphere, you'll just feel that these are moments of great liberation. You know, when they're flying high, they're having a good time. So, okay, great. So that's it for now. Oh, should we look at the thing that you just did? Okay, talking about trees. I wrote a poem called Trees, and so we'll show that now because he just finished it and fixed it yesterday. So let's start from the top and get some volume, okay? Volume. What's the problem? So if I diverted a little bit from the topic, I just want you to try to understand that there's elements of the spiritual world here, and these are reflections, things that will help us. Okay. Why is it not working?
Light, summer day, summer green. warmth and cold and coolness in the heat, and what eats and drinks by their very own feet. Give shelter with shade of the blazing sun's prime. What would never let you down in the worst of times? Trees, what stretches up the touching gorgeous sky. What is home for the species that fly? What provides rest in a place of refuge? What feathered and furry friends are in this deluge? Some are alive, some are dead, some are green, some are red, some bear fruit, some bear nuts, no sapwood full of very own guts. Some have needles, some have leaves, knowing for certain, they're here to be. I say trees, where dances and breezes and awesome rhythm makes music of creeks, moans, and sitarism. What can cause a surge of adrenaline contains fire and hydrogen and oxygen. What are the soft hairs jutting out of the universe, yielding healing properties like nature's nerves? What requires our stewardship and service? A chance for their well-deserved catharsis. Some are alive, some are dead, some are green, some are red, some bear fruit, some bear nuts, most have wood for the very own guts. Some have needles, some have leaves, knowing for certain, they're here to please. Trees, I can tell you what saved my life multiple times. Their arms reached out to mine on a steep climb. More than once I took to a slippery slope when there seemed to be so little hope. Some are alive, some are dead, some are green, some are red, some bear fruit, some bear nuts, most have wood for the very own guts. Some have needles, some have leaves, knowing for certain they're here to be.
Thank you, Nityananda, especially put a lot of work into that. Thank you, Hare Krishna. And this is, I mean, it's basically just it's a secular piece. There's no mention of Krishna in there. 'Cause we do a few like that. And we do have an initiative in North America, a green team. I forget what they call it, an environmental group of to see how temples can become more green and be more biodegradable, friendly, just like that, so it's important, okay? So try to expand your idea. We're always reading about the spiritual world, but the spiritual world is here. And you have to take care of it, it's taking care of us. We have to take care of it reciprocally, and so I think that's really important. When I go to India, I just think, wow, there's a lot of service to be done here. There's so much garbage, so much sewage. It's really pathetic, to be honest with you. I only go there because I like the people. And Modi is trying to get it. They made a whole bunch of, they put some effort out to making public toilets, especially for women. And so they're making some progress, but it's a lot of work to be done. You consider the population's very dense. So anything else that you would get? Go ahead.
March, thank you for the great class. We saw some of the pictures of the birds of Canada, and one of it you shared was pheasant.
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking through the pictures, they're almost looking like those legendary bird called phoenix in Greek mythology.
Oh.
They're so beautiful. They're very beautiful. And now, when I was scrolling down, I also saw some pictures, and you also talked about that in southern Ontario. There's like hunting, it's allowed, like you could unfortunately go and do it. My question is how does government justifies it? Like this is clearly a wrong.
You're talking pheasants in particular?
Yes, like it's clearly wrong.
It's a tradition, that's one thing. I don't know if they have some rules on it right now, but they do sometimes have a cull for deer. Sometimes the deer are overpopulated. Their natural predators aren't around anymore. So they come in big numbers, and they actually overeat or overgraze the forests. So that's a problem. They're killing species, the deer. They had a problem with that with the bison, even in a place like Yellowstone National Park. And the reason is that there was so many herds, is that farmers were killing the wolves. And why were they killing the wolves, shooting them? Because they were after some of the cattle, or let's say the lambs, or their livestock, right? So then they brought some wolves over from Saskatchewan, the grasslands, and then it created a whole beautiful balance was brought back instead of the overgrazing by the bison. So, and I know that in the area where I come from, they had a cull for deer because they were doing just that to the forests. They were killing the forests. That was that bad. So they allowed the indigenous people from that area to have, get the meat. Now, we also have to keep in mind that in the Vedic times, there were hunters. Where you read about them all the time, right? So they're part of the ecosystem, they're part of the balance. And so, Krishna was hit by a hunter, his foot got struck by, an arrow from Jira the hunter. So they've always been around. They play a role in helping to keep the balance. So it's justified. And so when there's there's too many of them. And the farmers, like in the prairies, they had problems. The prairie dogs were just putting holes everywhere, and the farmers were having a real problem with those rodents, And so what they did was, the solution to that problem was, well, they brought in some ferrets. The way to do it, the ferrets do kill some of the prairie dogs. That's a natural way. But before that, they used DDT. They used poison. So that was a big problem because then it killed the fox, coyotes, eagles, birds of prey, and it did major damage. So, man or like humans have to be really careful how they handle, animals when they come in such an abundance. Maybe you have to fight it, but try to do it in the most natural way possible. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes.
It is justified to some degree. Like I know in New Vrindavan, so that there's so many deer, and the farmers, the local hunters want to come in and do something about it. And in America, the main cause for automobile accidents is deer. We don't have the same kind of dynamic here, but definitely it's a big problem there. Devotees were resisting; they didn't want that to happen because of our ethics. But in some cases, you have to realize that man does eat some animals, right? Some people do, and it is part of the pecking order, whatever you want to call it. So it is justified somehow. Okay. Yes.
Maharajji, in the scriptures we read that the first living entity was Brahmaji, and then from Brahmaji, the four Kumaras and the population started. But we did not read about how the animal or birds population start in this world.
There is some mention in there about how the species came from some of the progenitors and the wives of the progenitors. Yeah, so they did come out. They don't get into great detail, but they did come from some people. What we think is humans gave birth to some creatures.
Did human come first, or birds or animals? Were they already present when Brahmaji was born, or how was this?
My understanding is they came quite simultaneously. Like everything was kind of like put there, bang, here you go, this is the world as we know it now. Somebody can look it up and research it a little bit.
Garuda came from Kadru, right?
Oh yeah.
So from there, the bird species.
Oh yeah, right. So again, we're talking about a woman, right? We're talking about a goddess, Yeah. Well, maybe not exactly, but a progenitor, you know. The male and female progenitors gave birth to some of these creatures, you know. Yeah, so Daksha's daughters, yeah.
Snakes, Garuda birds.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, that's the Vedic version. They all happen at one time. We're not supporters of Darwin's theory, whereby everything started with one-celled animals. There's an evolution. It doesn't make any sense, you know, scientifically, that is that's how things evolved. You know? It's not, but it came more spontaneously or simultaneously. But that's our understanding. Yes, Guru.
I- Maybe a few days ago, I was watching a movie, and in that there was a very beautiful line. It said that the world is like interstates in a very different way, and every thread that we pull, we don't know how it affects the design. So yes, as a brahmana, we should be thinking about the whole in general.
Mhm.
But why is it? Because we are not of this world. We are from a. Let's say hypothetically, we are from Goloka. Our end destination is there. Why should we think about things that are here in this world?
Well, we're all sharing the same space. We help each other. And so that has to be acknowledged and recognized. Because the way to go back to the spiritual realm is that you have to start to cooperate. Cooperation and bhakti are very similar. Bhakti Siddhanta uses that word cooperate. Prabhupada uses the word cooperate to say love. He makes it cooperation equals love. Love equals cooperation. So we do have to cooperate with the other life forms that are here, and let them have their space, and respect them by not getting your nose into, you know, their business. Say, for instance, you know, we're not honey badgers. You know, that stick their nose into everything. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, we just have to really respect all that's going on there. There's a beautiful thing, balance, you know. It is a big part of our culture too, maintain balance. There's a lot of verses in the Bhagavad Gita that speak of balance or lack of balance. Many verses. You know, I mean, it's kind of like a new age word that devotees won't think, no, don't give me that word. Balance is too, you know, it's too, what shall I say, too granola-like. But balance is really a major consideration. Matra sparshasta konteya yanki na yavyartante. Chapter 2, verse 14, 15. It's all about balance. And then you'll get liberated when you balance yourself, when you are equipoised and you remain steady in your service, and you don't get so much annoyed by happiness and distress. Then you're a candidate for liberation. Okay. Yes. Okay. Anything else? Okay. I'm sorry if we deviated a little bit, but I got carried away.
No, it was really nice.
Yeah. When we see beautiful things in nature, I mean, even to me, like winter is like white and black sticks coming out like trees. To me, it's absolutely beautiful. You know, and then you have that dogwood, which are red, the leaves come down, but you know, have these, they're very bendable, you know, they're all over in the countryside, you know, it's beautiful. The red against the white, it's just gorgeous. It's got its own beauty.
10th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10.
Yes.
All about.
Yes, I was mentioning that 10. Opulence of the absolute truth. So much is there about nature and God, seeing God in nature, divinity. Yes, Baru.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for this. I was just thinking that, like you mentioned, so many species of birds of the area. This was very inspiring. Like you paid so much attention. I was just thinking, if where I grew up, around the area, I couldn't think of perhaps more than 2 species. Also, because the city is in its life cycle where there's not a lot of nature around. I grew up in New Delhi, but then in spite of that, I don't know if many of us really can name even 5 species of birds around from where we grew up.
Mm.
So that's a little saddening to me. I mean, of course, these guys are good, but I'm talking about myself.
Well, even if you have a city planners must have green space so that these creatures can come and feel at home. And then people can come in and look and admire them, you know, in their free space. A zoo is one thing, but when you have parks where animals freely come and go, it's, you need to, whoever in New York when they did Central Park, it was a genius idea, a big space, just for green. You know? It's a break to all the concrete. You're doing yourself a favor. But everyone should spend some time in green every day, or snow, every day. You should spend some time, get out of the building, get out, away from concrete and traffic, and just, you know, touch nature, because it will touch you. And then you'll feel more sattvic, more thoughtful, and you'll feel closer to Krishna, definitely.
It's very sad that people are always behind money, greedy, especially in India, cutting down trees and making
Yeah.
concrete buildings,
Yeah.
apartments, real
Yeah.
estate business.
Yeah, but in Delhi they did a good job, because the first time we went to Delhi, it was pretty gray and gruesome looking. And then they planted a lot of trees in certain areas in Delhi. And, you know, they made a nice tree-lined, you know, traffic, and, you know, it gives you some hope and creates nice shade and all that, yeah. Yeah, so, and we always encourage devotees, grastas who have homes in our community, please grow your gardens, you know. And we started that program in Brampton some years ago, about 10 years ago, which never even, people are not even thinking like that. But then, then we'd have a, you know, in September or something, we'd have a little, all get together, and everyone will bring something like a preparation of what grew in their garden. You know, and it's not an official Krishna festival, but it was something that we felt we need to do. And everyone knows that the taste is just unbelievable when you grow it locally. Now, the soil here is very good. Here, anything around the Great Lakes, it's really good. It only changes when you get to like Barrie, and then you start to get a lot of rock and all that. But, and then once you get up to Sudbury, there's a lot more marshy, there are some good growing areas. But here we are. We're developing, the developers are just taking all the fertile soil, buying up farms. Does it make any sense?
And they are
Think so.
facing natural calamities.
Mm-hmm.
They are facing these three-four mysteries.
Yeah, at least if you have a plot of land in the city, you have an obligation to create some green space. Like some people have trees coming out of their apartments, you know? And at least you have to do that. You have, if you take down some trees, which sometimes developers do, then you've got to plant them again. You've got to put some more, equal or double it, you know? Okay, so thank you very much, Bruce. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam